What up, world? All right, so as you guys know, Ramadan 2022 is coming up. All right, I fast every year, no matter what. So I've been fasting since I was 6 years old, and we're continuing it again this year. It's gonna be year 22 for me, year 22. All right, so Ramadan, basically what that is, it's the most holy month for Muslims. Every Muslim is supposed to fast. You're supposed to fast for 30 days. That's no food or water during the daytime while the sun is up for 30 days. So as soon as the sun comes up in the morning, you're not allowed to eat or drink anything. When the sun goes down, you can resume eating and drinking until the next day. You have to stay consistent for 30 days as a form of cleansing your mind, your body, and your spirit, okay? Fasting, that's exactly what it does. It just cleanses your mind, cleanses your body, cleanses your spirit. It tempers you. It gives your body a little bit something to do while you're not digesting food. Okay, that takes up a lot of the effort in your body, a lot of the energy in your body goes to digesting food and drink. So giving your body a rest from that gives it time to heal and time to read. That's two things that we don't have a lot of time to do nowadays. All right. As always, I'm going to be fasting. It starts a week from Saturday. That's April 2nd. I'll be fasting the whole 30 days. I got a lot going on over the next 30 days. As always, for some reason, there's always a national tournament at the end of Ramadan. I don't know why it's always that way, but it's been that way my entire wrestling career. And as always, I'll be going to the US Open this year at the end of Ramadan. So I'm going to be training for the rest of this month. I'm going to be fasting all of April, and then going straight to the US Open, trying to win myself the first national title, trying to get on the board this time, trying to make a world team. So if you guys know anybody that does Greco-Roman wrestling, that's a senior or older, about 170 pounds, about 210, right? I'm not that big. I'm about 185. Okay. I need a drill partner. I need someone who can train with me full time. I'll pay for you to go to tournaments with me as well. You wrestle under the Morris Fitness Wrestling Club. And dude, we're going to go out and we're going to compete hard. All right. So if you want to go out and compete and be a savage, you need to hit me up ASAP. All right, I'll see you guys next week. All right, what up, world? So I got a lot of questions about Ramadan and how I'm gonna be fasting. What are some of the best ways to fast? How do you fast if you're a beginner? So I'm gonna explain a couple of things to you guys really quick. First things first, if you've never fasted before, safety first. All right, I would not suggest going 100% the first time. Okay, so what I mean by that, I would suggest you modify your fast. Personally, what I would do if I'd never fasted before, I would spend the first few days, I would cut out food and I would drink water all day. So if you've never fasted before, I would not suggest cutting out water for the entire day. I would suggest cutting out food first, getting acclimated to being hungry and a little bit tired all day, and being able to get through your day without a meal. And then after about 10 days, or maybe about halfway through, then progress into cutting back a lot of the water, cutting back in some of the other things as well. First things first, dude, if you've never fasted before, just cut out the food. Don't do the whole thing. You're gonna make yourself very uncomfortable, and it's hard to do things for a long time that are very uncomfortable. All right, ease yourself into it. All right. The second thing, people have been asking how I'm gonna train while I'm fasting. Not a lot changes for me. I've been doing this for a long time, so nothing really changes. Most of my workouts are in the late afternoon anyway, so I typically get done either early in the morning or late at night. So my training schedule is not going to change at all. If I were you and you decided to fast while you were training, for my competitors, it would probably be best for you to not get in the spirit of fasting, in the spirit of Ramadan. You should probably take some of those things off of your plate, including competition, and try to return your mind to God and some of the other things that are a little bit more important in your life. But if you are choosing to do competition while you're fasting, I never stop competition. All you're going to do is the day of your competition, you need to be drinking water. Okay. Every time I compete during Ramadan, I drink water during the day. I've had some close calls, and I've had myself feel lightheaded. I passed out one time randomly after getting out of a bath after a hard workout. I've been close to feeling lightheaded and like passing out in my car so there's been some close calls. So I would not suggest pushing yourself really hard during Ramadan in efforts to compete. That is not something that I would do if I'd never fasted before. All right. So the last thing that we're going to cover today is what to do like when you're not eating. Right? Like people keep asking me, what are you going to do other than eat? There's a lot of things that you can do. I typically try to choose 3 goals for Ramadan. I try to get something done. Every year I decide to read books. So no matter what I'm doing, I'll always sit down, start reading a book. Last year, I think I got through 2 books. I read The Secret again, and I read The Power of Habit. And I read, man, there was one more book. Actually, Dean Bernard gave it to me. I forgot the name of it. But it was also a really good book. It's talking about reversing aging. But I always try to find something to occupy my time, occupy my mind while I'm not eating. Really, if you have a goal, you should spend your time doing that. So for me, it's always reading. It's always reflecting. I read a lot of audiobooks as well. So that takes up a lot of my time. So that's my number one goal this year. My number two goal is I want to improve my relationships in my life, like overall. I want to improve the relationships between me and I want to improve the relationship between me and my family, my girlfriend, my daughter, my parents. And I want to improve the relationship between me and the athletes that I coach. I think that's very important in my life, and I take that very seriously as a leader. So I want to improve in that way over Ramadan. And obviously the third thing is always like a physical goal for me. My goal is not to lose any. I don't want to lose any more weight. I'm trying to get up to 200 pounds. I'm trying to get big. So one day, hopefully I'll be 200 pounds. I'm at about 186, 187 right now. I've gained about 4 pounds in the last like 3 or 4 months, which is great. But I don't want to lose any weight over Ramadan. So I'm going to have to be really strict on how much I'm eating and making sure that I'm not burning more calories than I would like to, and make sure that I'm refueling the right way at night. I'm getting a lot of calories at night, a lot of calories in the morning. But hey, that's all I got for you guys. I'll be back next week, another video. So, just finished Ramadan day 2 of 30. It's been a pretty good day. Ramadan is always a little bit interesting. The first couple of days are always a little bit rough, right? You're getting used to not eating or drinking all day. It takes a little time to get used to. So today, it was a pretty easy day. We had our banquet today. Everything went pretty great. I had an hour-long workout. It wasn't that bad. And yeah, overall, it's been a pretty simple day. Now, moving forward, as I get closer to the U.S. Open, it's probably going to get a little bit more difficult as I start training a little bit harder earlier in the day. But yeah, it's going pretty good so far. A couple of questions that I had and a couple of things that I wanted to talk about tonight. The first thing, a lot of people told me that they failed their first day of Ramadan. I don't consider not completing your fast a failure at all. One day is not a failure. The entirety of the month is the goal. So 30 days is the goal, but it's not the only thing that you're trying to do right here. So you're not only fasting from food and water, but you're fasting from certain thoughts, certain actions, and certain things that you do in your normal life, right? You're fasting from your bad habits, basically. So if at any point during Ramadan, you can take at least a week off of like social media or something that is a bad habit that you know that you have, fast yourself from that for a few days at least. No days of failure. Obviously you want to do it for 30 days. 10 days is great. 15 days is great. 3 days is great. 1 day is great. You do what you can do and you build up the muscle, and then at some point you'll be able to do it for 30 days. So don't at all feel like, yeah, if you couldn't make it through the day that you failed and that you shouldn't do it tomorrow, because you should do it tomorrow. I mean, you should continue to fast for the rest of the month. If you have to break your fast every day at 1 o'clock, then that's what you do for the month. And then maybe next year we push it to 2 o'clock or we push it to 3 o'clock. And then the next year, maybe we push it to 5 p.m. or we push it all the way, right? So you take it in steps and just get consistent with the habit of fasting and putting yourself through something that's a little bit uncomfortable. But hey, that's all I got from you guys. You'll see me in a couple of days with a little bit of updates. All right, what up, world? So I'm back. It's Ramadan day 10. All right, we're 1/3 of the way through of 30 days. It's been a great first third of Ramadan. For those of you guys, I'll catch you up with what's going on in my life. We just got back from Viper Pit. That was a big time national tournament in West Virginia. Our teams did fantastic. We took almost 100 athletes out to compete. We had 4 different teams, 2 boys teams, 2 girls teams. Both of the girls teams, I'm pretty sure, placed top 10. Our boys team, one of them placed 8th. The other one did okay as well, our developmental team. We went out there, the individual, the second day. Our guys got a lot of medals, got a lot better. We won a lot. I competed. There was an old man division. So I went out, got 5 matches, 5 pins. Only time I've ever done that, my whole career, fun fact. They gave me this Viper Pit champion mug right here. It's just what I needed, right? And fun fact, first time I've ever been kicked out of a tournament, but that's neither here nor there. But for those of you guys doing Ramadan, proud of you always. Keep it up. For those of us that maybe have fallen off for a couple of days, get back on the horse. All right, you didn't fail. It's still Ramadan. Get some work done, okay? It's not about being perfect, and it's not about doing every day, or and it's not about doing everything, and it's not about having a perfect fast. It's about trying to erase the bad habits, right? It's about trying to push yourself to be better, right? You get a rep in every time you try, right? You don't have to succeed in doing it. You have to try. So it's all about the tries, right? You have to do it every day, and at some point it will get easier. And for those of us that are having trouble with the whole 30 days thing, don't do 30 days. Do 10 days, right? Do 3 days at a time. Do what you can do to get better, right? Small steps over big steps, definitely in this situation. Right? Last thing real quick, a lot of athletes, I met a couple of athletes this week who were Muslim, who told me that they didn't fast during Ramadan if they were training at the same time. And my personal belief is that if you are physically capable, then you need to be fasting as well. You chose to do athletics, right? That's not like an obligation for you. In my opinion, only obligations should require you not to. I personally did not fast when I traveled. You shouldn't fast when you travel or when you're sick, or if you're a woman and you're pregnant or you're on your period, you shouldn't fast. But as far as I'm concerned, if you're an active male and you're okay, you need to be fasting during the month of Ramadan. And if you're an athlete, personally, you should take it easy, but I don't think that's an excuse not to fast. I believe that I feel better during Ramadan. I compete better during Ramadan. I became an All-American for the first time during Ramadan at the Junior Nationals. I made the national finals there in Greco for the first time during Ramadan. I won Spartan Nationals during Ramadan, so I became a national champ for the first time in my life during Ramadan. This weekend, I wrestled better than I have in maybe a decade during Ramadan. I don't know what it is about Ramadan, but fasting and putting yourself through a little bit of something that's uncomfortable, I swear it gives you superpowers. Like, I feel amazing after Ramadan. I feel amazing during practices now that I'm 10 days in, I feel great, and there's nothing like it. It's like when you're in the middle like of a really good lift and you got the pump and you're like, yeah, this is it. Or like the runner's high feeling. A lot of you guys know the feeling of euphoria during a workout, but it's like that all the time, right? It's like seeing how far you can push, how much more you can do. It's great in the pursuit of being great. All right. But that's all I got for y'all today. I know that was long, it's a little bit lengthy, but I'm a talker. It's all good. And I appreciate you guys watching. So if you did watch, I really appreciate you. I'll have a podcast coming out here pretty soon. A lot of people keep asking me for that. Not a lot of people, just like 3 or 4, like realistically. But I feel like I got a lot of good stuff to say. So I'll be putting out a podcast here pretty soon, and I'll really get on that. So I'll see you guys later. So it's Ramadan 22, day 15, right? We're halfway through the month, and I'm feeling great, actually. I'm feeling really good. The month has been going fantastic. I've done a lot of amazing things in the last 15 days. The next 15 days, I'm hoping to equal or last what I've already done. A few things really quick. First thing that I got for you guys about nutrition. So I'm getting some questions about nutrition, what you should eat during Ramadan, what you shouldn't be eating during Ramadan, just like the times that you should eat things. I'll tell you guys the way that I schedule how I eat. During Ramadan, I try to go completely off of caffeine. I cut down significantly the amount of sugar that I eat. If you know me, I'm a big time sugar guy. I don't eat fast food or anything like that, but I eat a ton of sugar. I eat sugar all the time. So I have to cut back on that a lot. But really it's the caffeine and the sugar are the top 2 things that I have to start cutting back. And then also the amount of food that I'm eating. The amount of food that I'm eating is probably the most difficult thing to cut down. So in the mornings, I usually start off with something light. I prefer to keep everything consistent. I like to eat oatmeal. I eat oatmeal pretty much every day during Ramadan. Oatmeal, some kind of berries or fruit inside of the oatmeal, and then possibly more fruit on the side. I always like to eat my water. So if it's a fruit or a vegetable, I'm gonna prefer that over something that's dry. It helps you out a lot as far as hydration goes, and you have to drink a lot less water on the back end. Also, I try to drink like at least a gallon a day. If you're not getting about a gallon a day, you're gonna be dehydrated. Okay, especially if you dehydrate yourself for a long period of time, like 12 hours. You won't properly hydrate throughout the night. So you need to wake up in the morning and drink about a quart of water before your day starts. Throughout the day, obviously, can't eat or drink anything, right? But as soon as the sun sets, the first thing that you should break your fast with are fruits, obviously, right? You break your fast with something that has water in it. You take a couple of sips of water, don't go nuts. I know a lot of people who will just start down in food, dude, and you'll get nauseous, right? After a couple of days, your stomach bag shrinks. So you can't really hold as much food as you would like to inside your stomach. So don't go nuts as soon as you break your fast. Do not go nuts. Eat fruits and vegetables, mostly. You should fill about a third of your stomach full of food, a third of your stomach full of water, and leave about a third of it for air, right? So you can breathe, all right? Because you're gonna fill that up pretty quick. So another thing that I wanted to deal with was the actual nutrition aspect and explaining what happens in your body while you're fasting. I mean, like, what is the purpose of it, right? You are not starving yourself. So although that is the premise. Eating less food, you are not starving. Your body is not going into starvation mode. I put that in quotes because I don't even like saying that. Starvation mode. Really what's happening is you're giving your body a break. You're giving your body a break from digesting food, right? It takes a lot of effort and energy from your body to digest food, okay? Digestion is not an involuntary process. For digestion is a voluntary process. You have to tell your body to eat, and then your body starts digesting food. And it takes a lot of the capacity out of your body to do that. It takes capacity away from your ability to process your emotions. It takes away from your ability to secrete the correct hormones in your body to keep your emotions under control. And a lot of other things happen inside of your gut. And when you actually give your stomach a break, your body is able to do a lot more. Right? So a couple of things that actually happens, like when you stop eating, your body produces a lot more white blood cells. It's almost, your body cannot do too many things at once. That's why, like, when a lot of people eat, they'll eat lunch and then they'll get really tired, right? Because that's your body saying, all right, I need to shut down some of the other processes that are going on in my body so I can start digesting food, right? Which is not exactly the greatest thing for the human body, right? What we need to do is put good fuel in our body so it can digest properly within 2 to 3 hours, and then we will never feel that drop in energy, right? But I digress, right? Running it back to like white blood cells and what happens in your body. Why I'm focused on the white blood cell part of it is because your immune system gets boosted as you fast. And at about 10 days in, you'll start to feel significantly better. That's one of the things about fasting that has never changed since the day I started fasting. The first 10 days are always the hardest. The first 10 days are the hardest because you're cutting out the cravings. You're cutting out the sugar, right? You're building up your self-discipline, okay? And that is a little bit uncomfortable. But about 10 days in, usually it's shorter. For me, this year is about 5 days, maybe 4 days. My body hopped right back into it. It was great. I knew what to do. But what'll happen is you'll start feeling better. You'll start looking better. Everything in your life will change. You'll feel better. You'll think better. You'll think better thoughts. You'll feel better about life. You'll feel happier. You'll want to be in the sun more. Get in the sun more. You'll produce more vitamin D, right? You'll feel better. So the benefits of fasting are endless. I could really go on forever about the physical benefits of fasting, but I'll leave you guys with that for today. And for my next video, what I'll do is I'll go over all the mental aspects of fasting, which I believe outweigh the physical benefits by a lot. There's a lot that goes on in our brain and that goes on in our gut chemically that we don't worry about until there's a problem, until we have cancer or until we have depression or anxiety or something else that's pulling us away from being our best selves, and then we decide to deal with it. When in reality, all we had to do is deal with our gut health 6 months earlier and everything would have been all right. You guys get ready for that mental aspect of fasting on the next video. But if you've been fasting, keep it up. I'm proud of you, as always. Keep killing it. We got 15 more days. All right, maybe not even, maybe 14 days. We'll see how the rest of the month goes. But I'll see you guys for the next video. All right, what up, world? Coming at you guys again. It's Ramadan day 18. We're almost 2/3 of the way there. We're getting through these days. Every day is getting subsequently easier. That's typically what tends to happen. Like, I almost forget that I'm fasting. I just move through my day. But things are going very well. It's going very well. Just some updates for you guys. Let's see, it's T-minus 2 weeks for the US Open. So in 2 weeks, I'll be going to compete at the US Open in Greco, 82 kilograms. I'm trying to be a national champion. I want to make a world team. I want to be a world champion. Every day I live my life to achieve that goal, and that's the goal. That's what I'm doing in my life. So, and the other stuff that we got going on, I wanted to talk about some of the mental aspects of fasting and why fasting is good for you in the long run. So a few different things really quick. Like I said last time, I'll talk about the mental aspect, right? So in your brain, a lot of different things happen when we start to fast, right? Probably the biggest thing that happens is there's a chemical in your brain called BDNF. And what happens is when you fast and when you eat less food, there's a lot less insulin that goes to your brain. And so your brain produces more of this BDNF, right? And what it does is it reduces oxidative stress on your system. Okay, so what I mean by that is the stress that is on your DNA, the stress that is on your nervous system and that you feel on your nerves, that is what we consider oxidative stress. Okay, and you can get that from any kind of thing. If you eat more insulin, Or if you eat more, you raise your insulin and automatically your BDNF levels go down and your insulin levels go up. And everybody knows that's not really a good thing. It's not good for your system. Okay, increasing the BDNF in your brain helps a lot. That the chemical helps reproduce synapses. It helps your synapses fire better. It helps repair your nerves that are in your cells. So there's just a lot of good activity that goes on when you starve yourself from food for a given period of time. Also, most people know about what like a keto diet is, right? So part of why keto is, I wouldn't say that it's effective, but part of the reason why it's like famous is because your body, when you eat food, it produces glycogen, right? So once you eat, your body breaks down everything into a carbohydrate and then it breaks it down into glycogen, right? Your liver stores a lot of glycogen cells and your muscles store the glycogen cells as well, right? So once you deplete the glycogen that's in your muscles, your body starts pulling more glycogen from your liver. So whenever you start feeling tired during your day, you start feeling a little bit sluggish, right? You haven't eaten in a while, chances are pretty good that the glycogen that's in your muscles have been depleted. Right, we start to feel a little bit fatigued. If we're exercising, that's when we're about like 2/3 through the workout, where we're starting to feel like, all right, I'm feeling it now. You're starting to actually feel some like muscular fatigue. That is a product of the glycogen storages in your muscles being depleted. Once you deplete those, your body starts pulling glycogen out of you. Those storages aren't quite as full, not as big. So your body runs out of glycogen fast when it pulls it from your liver, and it starts burning fat instead. That's what people consider being in a ketogenic state, right? Once your body starts burning fat instead of glycogen, you're in a ketogenic state. Now, typically that will take about like 10 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours for most people if you're not exercising. Okay, if you exercise, obviously that number comes down significantly. And that's why it's important to exercise if you're trying to lose a lot of weight really fast, right? You can't just exercise or you can't just diet, right? You have to do both, and it works out better in the long run. But so back to the ketogenic state, right? Part of the reason why that's so effective is because once your body starts burning you obviously don't have any more glycogen to burn. So you burn fat off of your body, which is what we wanted to do from the beginning, right? You'll lose weight fast at that point. You'll lose a lot more than just water weight. Sometimes we exercise, we just lose water weight, and then we wonder why we're not actually losing weight. And it's because we were never actually in a calorie deficit. So your body never actually burned any fat. So you never actually lost any weight, right? Now, let's see, a couple other things that I failed to mention last time. Part of the reason why fasting is good for like your stomach is because in your stomach, there are different kinds of bacteria that are living inside there. Everyone has a specific gut biome, and your gut biome has to stay healthy for us to stay healthy. Most people don't know this, but most of your hormones are produced in your gut, okay? They're produced in your stomach. That's why that term, like a gut feeling, came about, because you do feel things in your gut. Most of the feelings that we feel were produced in our gut first, or our thyroid. So the things that we feel in our stomach, dude, it's not just in your head, it's a real feeling. So part of what we have to do is put good things in our body to feed that biome correctly. What we don't want to do is just dump a bunch of sugar, fat foods, things that are very processed chemically into our stomach, and it will mess up your gut biome. And what will happen over time is your body won't produce your hormones correctly. And mostly things like serotonin and like hormones that make you happy will get messed up, and your body won't produce as much of it. And that's why a lot of Americans have depression. That's not just something that arbitrarily happened. Our diet went down, and so did our mental health also went down. And I truly believe it's a product of eating fast food, eating processed food, and eating way too much sugar. Americans eat way too much sugar. Oh my God, way too much sugar. So once we start dialing back on especially the sugar and the processed foods and the fatty foods, your gut biome will get more healthy. Your body will produce the correct amount of like serotonin in your body. It'll be able to regulate your insulin better. Your body will be able to more actively create white blood cells, because you'll be able to use more of your free testosterone, and you'll be able to, there are just so many things like antioxidants that are used better in your body. You can absorb things better if your insulin levels are correct. If our insulin levels are way too high, our body just doesn't accept minerals correctly. So there's a lot of things that go on in our body that we don't really think about as we're eating and shoveling things in our mouth. And everything you eat, it matters. Everything you stick in your mouth matters. So we really need to get on that as Americans, and in our culture, and in wrestling, we need to get on that. In sports, and in our communities especially. If you got a mom or an uncle or someone who you know you can help them eat a little bit better, do it. If you can help them make a better eating choice one day, do it, because you never know how that's going to snowball and help someone out for the rest of their life. It only takes like one to help someone do something better. You don't know what kind of small step you can help someone take to get to the next big step for them, okay? Because each step is a little bit of something, and not everybody's pace is the same. So you don't know how you might help out someone. It's just one thing you can do. Hey man, let's go eat some healthy food. Or you invite someone to go out to eat, make sure it's something healthy. You give someone something to eat, make sure it's an apple, an orange, some fruit, something like that, rather than some fast food or some garbage or something you can put in your body, all right? But hey, that's all I got for y'all today. I'm gonna keep my video short and sweet. Last one was a little bit long, but I'm gonna shorten this one up just a little bit for you. But yeah, that's all I got. Coming up, US Open, last few days of Ramadan, and that's about it. I'll see y'all in a couple days. All right, what up, world? Coming at you guys again. Today is Ramadan day 20. So we are 2/3 of the way done, 10 more days, and it's over. I'm excited for it to be over. I'm always like a little bit sad when it's over. I really love Ramadan. It's a time for me to push myself, to get better, to challenge myself a little. And although I'm always a little bit nervous to see it come, I'm always a little bit sad to see it go. Because I feel like it's just so much better during Ramadan. Life is better. Everything's better. Get Ramadan superpowers during Ramadan. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about. If you ever heard of any professional athletes during Ramadan, they always do very well. Always. They get Ramadan superpowers, right? But so today I wanted to talk a little bit of me competing, because I'm going to the US Open next weekend. I'm going to try to compete for a Greco-Roman national title. My goal is to make a world team this summer and go out and compete for the United States and hopefully win a medal at the World Championships. My goal has always been to win a World Championship in Greco-Roman wrestling. I could care less about the weight class, but I'm gonna keep pushing until I get on the team, until I get that medal. My goal is to compete really hard up until the end of 2024. So the next Olympic cycle, we'll see what happens after. This one, I just didn't do well. My goal was to try to make the 2020 Olympic team, but that did not go very well. It didn't at all. I dropped out of college in 2016, so that messed up my training then. I was part-time training for like the next 2 or 3 years. And then really during COVID is when I got back serious, training hard. And since then I've been training hard, and I've been competing again at the national level. All-American once since then, won a national title, Spartan Nationals since then. And now I'm going back to the US Open, hopefully to improve on how I did last time. Last time I went 2-2. I lost to some good guys, but really I lost because I wasn't ready to wrestle hard, to be really honest. I wasn't ready to wrestle as hard as I could have. And so I lost some of those matches the first time I went out there at the senior level. So looking back at my performance, my goal is just to wrestle hard. I know some of you guys, you hear me during practice and you see me compete, and my goal is to always wrestle hard from the beginning of the whistle to the end. 7 hard minutes or 6 minutes, depending on what kind of match it is. Wrestle as hard as humanly possible. Leave every ounce of energy on the mat. Do everything that you can possibly do. Give every ounce of effort. If you can expose him and beat him up bad, but always shake his hand at the end. So I always like to wrestle hard as freaking hell. And then I'm going to be cool and we're going to shake hands at the end and we're going to talk it up after. But it's going to be a fight. That's the only way that I know how to wrestle. The only way that I know how to... That's the plan. So next week, I'm going to go out there, wrestle as hard as I possibly can, and see what I can get. I would like to thank some of my sponsors. I really appreciate you guys. I could not do this without you. I really couldn't. It really helps to have people behind you and supporting you. And sometimes people don't understand what impact you can play on their motivation until you just offer something, and it could be anything. I really appreciate all the high school guys that have offered to train with me. So many of my guys stay after practice so I can beat them up for 25 minutes and go live hard as hell and run gut wrench on them for 25 minutes and hit big throws on them for half an hour. And I know that's annoying to some of those guys, but they're getting a little bit better every single time. And I love donating my time and my effort to helping those guys get better. And I really appreciate my whole support system and everyone in my circle that's inviting me to do better and encouraging me and lifting me up all the time. I have the best support system on the planet. I can't thank my family enough. My parents, my mom, my dad. Coach Charlie is one of the biggest people in my life right now. He's my personal coach and my mentor. I like to thank my girlfriend Ellen. She's been a big part of this, helping me out through Ramadan. She's made it incredibly easy to fast and train at the same time and work at the same time, because we're doing all three, and she's fasting this year as well. So for those of you guys that don't think you could do it, you can totally do it. You just need somebody right there next to you helping you out and giving you that little bit of encouragement every day to get through the day. It helps a lot, guys. It helps tremendously. Lastly, I want to thank all the kids in the program and all the parents in the program at Morris Fitness. We have the best program on the planet. We got the best parents, the best athletes, the best kids, the best families, best everything. I truly believe that. And I can't thank you guys enough for supporting me through all my endeavors. And I really appreciate it. We're going to see what I can get this weekend, guys. Yo. What up, world? All right, so what day is it today, El? Today is Ramadan.
What day?
21.
Day 21. That's right. All right, so day 21. We just got done. 9 days left. So the whole family's been fasting with me all month, right? Eliana's done a couple of days, but Ellen has been doing it the whole month. So like I said, Ramadan's a lot easier when you actually have people doing it with you, right? You got your family and your support system around you doing it with you. It's a lot easier when it's a family affair, right? Just a quick recap on the week. Right, going to the U.S. Open this weekend. We'll be in Vegas. I hope you guys will be on flow, cheering us on, right? Trying to win a national title. Isn't that right, Eliana? Hopefully soon, she'll be out there winning some national titles, right? We got our first state title. What's your favorite move, Eliana?
Bulldog.
A bulldog? That's right.
I thought it was a double leg.
Catch your neck. Nah, no doubles? Yo, we're a Greco family, all right? We don't even attack legs. If we get your neck, it's over. I'm telling you right now, it's over. It's a wrap. We're going to pin you. What's your second favorite move?
I don't have one.
You don't have one?
A bar.
Probably a bar? That's right. So we get on top, bar it up, you're done, son. All right? So we're nice on top, nice with the Greco. All right? That's all I got for y'all today. Give me a fist bump, poop pants. All right. I'll see y'all next time. All right. Ramadan, day 29. We're out here in Las Vegas, right? You see the South Point? Yeah, back there. But I just placed at the U.S. Open. I won 2 matches today. I lost 1, so that puts me in the consolation bracket. So tomorrow, the best I can get is 3rd. But I'm top 8 in the country right now in Greco, so this is great. It's the first time I've ever placed at the U.S. Open. I'm pretty sure I just qualified for the World Team Trials, so I'll be going to that next to see if I can make a World Team. So like I told you guys, Ramadan powers have activated, right? Ramadan powers activate all the time. Yeah, I'm real excited. But I'll catch y'all tomorrow. All right, you guys. So it's Ramadan, day 30. I'm actually at the U.S. Open right now. I just wrestled my first match. I took an L. So that puts me in the 7th and 8th place match I'm gonna wrestle tonight. But this is the venue, so everybody can see what we're doing out here. All right, I just wrestled on mat number 1. It's pretty awesome. Big stage. It's been a fantastic Ramadan 2022 leading up to the turn. I just want to say I'm filled with gratitude. And win, lose, or draw, I'm proud of myself, and I really like to thank my support system and everybody that's encouraged me and everyone that sponsored me, took the time out to send me messages. And it really means a lot. I mean, I couldn't do any of this without you guys, and I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. See you guys later. So you guys, I just got finished. So I took 8th place at the U.S. Open in Greco. Not my best finish ever, but actually it is my best finish, but it's not what I wanted. I want to be at the top of that podium. I promise you guys a national title, and I will get it for you. Unfortunately, it wasn't this year, but I will get that national title, and I'll make it to the World Team Trials. I'm going to win that, and then I'm going to make the World Team, and then I'm going to get a world medal for you guys as well. So if you want to be a part of the Morris Fitness team and come out next year, you need to hit me up, and you need to prove to me that you want to come and do this. I have a lot of guys that act like they want to do it, but nobody that wants to put in the work. So if you want to put in the work, you let me know, and I'll personally bring you out here next year, and you'll wrestle for Team MF2. So we out here, baby.